It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watched, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
I'm Isabel. Last night we watched episode 6 of The Bachelorette, season 10. The show aired on Monday, June 23rd, 2014. Here's what we thought about it.
This was a great episode on so many levels. What did you think?
It was. It was beautiful to see Venice.
Yeah.
I was really paying attention to the architecture more than some of the conversation. Is that bad?
Well, no, it was mesmerizing. I totally get it. Venice is one of those places that I've always wanted to go, and after seeing this, it's totally happening. Soon.
Well, good. Time to make some plans.
Right? What did you think of this choice for the first one-on-one date?
Ooh, I've really felt bad for Cody because going into the episode, he's going on and on about how he still hasn't had a one-on-one date.
It was too built up, and I just kind of felt like, I knew something was happening, right? But her choice, dude, I was not feeling it.
What was the deal? It all came back to, I guess, whatever the tension was last week, right?
Yeah, well, she chose Nick, and all of us are kind of going, really? He kind of revealed himself last week, right? And he was outed.
He sure did.
By the guys, and so everybody was surprised by this decision.
Oh, I mean, I think the guys had a hard time hiding their reactions.
Right?
They're like, what?
Especially Cody. I felt so bad for him.
Whatever was going on last week, and she felt she needed to get some questions answered. That was the premise, right?
I get that, but I just was not feeling Nick throughout this entire date.
They hop on the gondola and they start kind of wandering around the canals of Venice and all that stuff. And they had some conversation about the cocktail party or something. Can I just say I kind of zoned out on that part?
He wasn't making any sense. I felt like he was totally backpedaling.
And really, he wasn't saying anything. It didn't sound like it was anything that made sense.
I just felt like, dude, you're just trying to cover up for the mess you made last week.
Oh, didn't he say something about it? He's going to do better.
Yeah, that's the whole
what does that
thing.
mean?
It's just like, do better. Okay, so does that mean that you're not going to show the true you, the person that is arrogant and
smirky,
feels like he's the front runner?
Well, you know how he's kept saying that he didn't believe in this process?
Yeah.
Comes down to two things. Why did he even bother signing up for the show if he had all this skepticism about if this process would work?
Right.
I mean, either he believes it or not, or that's kind of his spiel, right? His little game to be on the show.
Well, I just feel like I can't trust him. And every time I looked at him during this date, I felt like he was trying to put one over on her. I didn't believe anything that was coming out of his mouth.
Good. I'm starting to get the same feeling from him, too.
He's got that Weasley look.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling Nick.
I'm not, but I have a feeling she's not going to get rid of him right away because she's going on about this connection, and which I still don't see.
After the date of walking around, they got to the dinner where they were kind of having some more intimate discussion. Mm-hmm. First of all, her dress was gorgeous. My gosh, that was like an Oscar dress. It was awesome.
No, it was a beautiful dress.
And I loved her hair, the way they had it, kind of slicked back. And yeah, I just thought it was beautiful.
The palazzo or the hall, wherever they went with all the frescoes on the wall where they had dinner.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. And this was a bummer because when she was looking at Nick in his tux and she was saying, oh, he looks like a prince.
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh, you did?
Well, she just gushes a lot about him.
I know.
I kind of zone out about it sometimes.
He was totally believing it hook, line, and sinker. And I thought, oh, Andi, how can you not see through this? He does not look like a prince. He looks like a toad. I was really glad when that date was over.
Yes.
And he looked seriously bored when she was talking to him at the end and giving him the rose. And he looked like he couldn't wait for her to stop talking. Was that just me?
I mean, it's just a little smirk on his face, like he's trying to hide something.
I didn't get that
sense. I think that's what it is. I had to laugh, though, when he was going on about he doesn't feel safe around the guys. What? No one was threatening him with violence.
No.
They were just critiquing, and they were obviously giving him their opinions, but I don't know how you should feel threatened.
I just think he just doesn't feel good being in the house because all the guys see right through him.
Wait, didn't he say that he was definitely falling in love with her?
Yeah, he did. I was barfing, but yeah, he did say that.
Oh, that's what you texted me about with the whole I'm barfing. Can Can I just add one last thing about their date? I thought it was gross that they had the pigeons on them.
Ugh. Don't even get me started. You know how I feel about birds, but they were crawling all over them.
You know that pigeons nest in their own excrement, right? In their own crap.
Ew!
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Gross.
I'd gone to Venice and I see other tourists doing that in the Piazza San Marco, right?
Yeah.
I thought, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, that totally makes sense because they're kind of like rats with wings, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
They are to me.
So what did you think about this group date when they all took this lie detector test?
I thought it was really interesting considering who Andi is and what she does for a living.
Oh, true.
It sort of made sense, you know? It was interesting to see the guys' reactions,
Sure.
and it was really interesting to see what she did at the end. That totally surprised me.
She seemed kind of serious but kind of joking, but I still wasn't sure how to gauge it. And I was thinking, okay, why are we doing this again?
I totally felt
What's
like
the
this
point?
was right up her alley.
Yeah.
So that's her biggest fear, is getting into this process and feeling like someone's not going to be real with her. So
Yeah, but wouldn't your gut kind of get you?
But I think she's the kind of girl who would take it that extra step, right?
Right.
So it made sense to me.
Well, I was really surprised by Josh's reaction to it.
Right? It was just interesting to me to see who was worried and why were they worried. To me, it's like, do you have something to hide? Like, you know what I mean? If you're taking a lie detector test and you have nothing to hide, what's the big deal?
But it's still nerve-wracking because you're hooked up to all this monitoring, you know, the pulse and, you know, all the questions. And it's this interrogation in that sense.
Nerve-wracking, yes, but the way the guys were reacting, especially Josh, the stuff he was saying was not that he was nervous about it. He was like, so are these tests accurate? It was just interesting to me that those are the questions or the comments that he chose to make.
Yeah.
To me, it was a huge red flag. And you know I'm a Josh fan, but that
Oh, I know you are.
totally threw me.
Well, they all look certainly nervous. Certainly the WTF expression on their face.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting that the results were given, but Andi never really looked at all the results. I'm glad she kind of ripped them up.
I know. She made the decision to tear him up, which, seriously, I had mad respect for her in that moment. I would like to think that I would have done the same thing. You started to see her kind of second guess that. I think she was in the moment and really wanted to show them that she trusted them. And then after it went on for a while, she's like, oh, I should have looked at what was in there. Maybe I should have just looked just to see, you know. I can totally see that. So, on the group date, she got to have some really cool one-on-one time with each of them.
Well, I think Brian's version of a lie detector test was adorable.
Yes. I love that he said it makes him weak at the knees.
Yes. And I like the fact that he took some initiative.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting a little bit more confident, I think.
Yeah, he's kind of stepping up.
Yes, he is. Stepping up indeed. I did like how the guys were trying to figure out who the secret admirer is.
I know.
They were all playing off like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who would be that guy? Who's the idiot? Chris plays it off with his little...
We may never know. And then we get to find out, he confesses that he's the secret admirer. And I just...
Exactly.
Right? I loved the look on her face, and I loved just how he looked when he was telling her.
She kind of figured it out. Didn't she say, you're the secret admirer, aren't you?
As soon as he started, I think she knew. You know what I mean? Because I think she's thought in her mind the whole time, kind of guessed that it was him.
Yeah. You know, because his personality comes through in the letter. And
Totally.
can I just say I was bored with Marcus's conversation? Wah, wah.
Totally. You can say that because I was thinking in my mind when he was talking, I was hearing you do your Marcus voice.
Oh, I want more. I'm falling in love with you.
You're totally worth it.
Thank you. You're getting it now, aren't you?
Okay, now I'm seeing a little more of it. Between you and Neil, forget it. I'm a goner. I'm seeing all this stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so her time with Chris when they were doing the confessional about being the secret admirer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but he totally had his hand on her butt when he was doing the kiss.
No.
Did you see
I didn't
it?
notice that. No.
Oh my gosh, the camera pulled back and it was like his hand was completely on her butt. So, yeah.
I'm going to have to take a look at that again.
I'm kind of liking the Chris who's stepping up and telling guys what he thinks and calling it out. He did that several times in this episode.
He did. He sure did.
And yeah, it's kind of hot. So on the group date, she gave the rose to Chris.
And then JJ's going on about, well, why should we congratulate you? And, he was just being a sourpuss.
I know.
I love how the other guys were like, I forgot who said it, but someone's like, it motivates them to try and do better the next time.
Yeah, that was Brian.
That was Brian, yes. And I loved Chris's response.
I loved it too. Yeah.
But Chris then asked, what's the alternative? Just, you do you. Be the sour grapes and it'll all come out at the end kind of thing. So I love that he was just like, well, I'm not going to apologize for getting a rose. Why should he? Why should any of the guys, right?
And when I said that was hot, I mean, he is the sensitive, caring, sweet, endearing guy. But then he can just give it to you like, I need to tell these guys what's up. So I'm sorry, but that's totally hot. We get to the one-on-one with Cody, and they go to Verona.
Yes, it's a beautiful city. I've been there too.
Okay, now, the first thing that struck me about this, and I'm sorry to say, was she really wearing a skirt with a long-sleeve sweater and booties?
Yes! Thank you.
What in the world?
And she looked like she had a hard time walking too.
It's like either wear the skirt with a short sleeve or a sleeveless sweater or something.
And a cute jacket.
And I was like, I can't get past this outfit. That it was haunting me through the whole date. I'm sorry. I was totally distracted by the fashion in this particular segment.
Well, I thought it was cute that they went to the Club de Julieta, where they answer all the letters that are sent with regards to love advice and whatnot.
Yeah, and this is kind of based on the premise of that movie, Letters to Juliet, which is one of my favorite movies because it's sappy and set in Italy.
Or can we say that the movie was based on the actual club?
Yes, the movie. Yes. That's probably a better way to say it. Thank you, Izzy. But it's like, I just didn't realize that it was true. I didn't realize that was a real thing. So that was kind of cool to find out.
When they went to the little courtyard with Juliet's balcony, I'm surprised they didn't show the statue of Juliet.
Oh, there's a statue there?
And she has one shiny boob.
Did you just say she has one shiny boob?
Yes.
Oh.
So, there's a statue of her in the little courtyard, and apparently it's good luck when you stand next to her and you have your hand on her, I don't remember which side boob, but if you put your hand on her boob, then it's supposed to give you good luck and love or something.
So, it's become shiny from all the activity?
Well, yeah, because all the hands, all the oils on everyone's hands.
Okay, that's just weird.
It's funny. I'm surprised they didn't show it.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't show it.
Maybe, but it's not like... Well, I guess because it's Europe, so they all have different attitudes toward it.
Exactly.
But I do have a picture of myself next to that statue.
Oh, cool. And were you,
lucky in love? Going back to their date when they go to the Club of Juliet, it was really adorable to hear Cody. I don't know, we just saw a different side of him.
Yeah, this was really great. They were kind of reading through some letters and then picking out which ones they wanted to reply to.
Yes.
And the one that Cody replied to, I loved it.
I liked his response.
I loved his answer. I loved it when they were talking about it. I just thought it was really cool.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, why haven't we seen this part of Cody before?
I know, right? Then we get to the dinner with Cody, and you know what? There were a lot of fashion distractions in this episode.
There were.
This was the second one. It was like a long white shirt.
She was wearing like these nude-colored pants.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell. Is she wearing pants? Is that a long shirt that's supposed to be a skirt? And she's got the jacket? Like, it took me a minute to figure out if she was wearing pants, of all things.
I do remember looking at that and thinking, wait, I thought what? What is she wearing?
What is going on with that outfit? Her dinner with Cody, it was nice, and then he just started pouring out his heart to her.
Okay, he went overboard there, because I was thinking, okay, just shut up.
I know, but it kept going and going, and I just thought to myself, he's feeling all of these things for her, and you're looking at her face, and it's completely void of any smile. In fact, it was a frown.
She was about to cry.
I know.
She was starting to cry.
My heart was breaking for him, because having that face look back at you when you're so passionate about what you're saying and everything, it's like, wah, wah, you know, how do you recover from that?
As soon as he started going on his little monologue, I thought, just a few things. That's all you need to say.
I know.
Keep the conversation moving to something else.
I know.
Because he's already jumping in like, I want you to meet my parents and blah, 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 my friends and this. I felt bad for the guy.
I know, me too. And we saw it result in Cody not getting a rose and ending up going home. And it was just sad.
It was.
So that brings us to our third fashion moment of this episode.
Was this the rose ceremony cocktail dress
yes,
that she's wearing?
She shows up in this amazing car, in this amazing mermaid bottom dress. It's black with sequins. I mean, it is gorgeous, and she looks gorgeous.
Absolutely.
And she's got the strappy sandals. Can't forget those. Those are so cute when she like put her toe out of the limo, and I was like, yeah, I need some of those. But then they show her from behind. Dude, it's a racerback.
I know.
In this formal, beautiful gown, why would you put a racerback?
Wouldn't it have been better if it was more of like a low scoop at the back?
Yes, this was like a sports bra back for a gorgeous gown. It just did not make sense.
Well, she had a lot of side boobs showing on that dress too, by the way.
I know, she did. Well, she's had some boobs showing in a few of the outfits.
Yes.
So we get to the rose ceremony.
What did you think of Nick stealing her away as soon as she walked in the door?
Well, I told you, Nick was totally bugging me through this whole episode, but that was like the nail on his coffin, right? I did not like that at all, and neither did anybody else, including Chris.
All of them were kind of like, what? The fact that he already had a rose, it's not like he had to prove himself anymore.
And not only that, but he's had the most time with her than pretty much anybody.
It's very true.
So when Chris said that's an arrogant move, I totally, was having a little bit of a hot flash at that moment.
No, I got that. But I had to laugh at Anna's reaction, because didn't she say, what was it?
He's such a man. Yeah, he just went for it, and I just was like, ugh. Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that would like to control the situation all the time.
Well, he's just too slick.
Yeah.
And I want Andi to see it, and she's not right now, and that kind of scares me.
I hope she sees it sooner rather than later, but
I know, right?
We'll see. And all I can think of is when he pulled her in for the kiss, I mean, his hands were so close to her boob. I mean, the way she was holding her arms, I thought, whoa, he's trying to get a little...
I didn't even notice that.
He's trying to cop a feel. So you noticed the Chris thing. I didn't. Now you'll need to go back if
I'll
you
have
can
to go
watch
back
that.
and look at that. Not that I want to look
hilarious.
at Nick anymore. I have
well, I know. But wait, wasn't he the one that was staring down her dress at some point?
Yes!
So, yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
When she was having a serious conversation, he was totally staring down her dress. I just don't like this guy. I can't help myself.
No. I'm glad that Dylan comes in to kind of steal her away.
Yes.
He just says, I have to go talk to her, and he takes her away. And when Nick returns, all the guys even told Nick, what the hell was that? That was quite arrogant.
What's up? And then his explanation just pissed me off even more.
What did he say again?
He was just saying how, he's going to grab every opportunity, and he's just going to, it doesn't matter that he has a rose, and, barf.
Barf indeed. So Josh had a little bit more of a conversation with Andi about the whole lie detector test, and...
Yeah, I thought at this point that was not going to go well for him.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I was kind of afraid that she might nix him over that whole thing, but I'm glad they had a chance to talk it out, and I'm glad she kept him around.
I am too, because there's insane chemistry between those two.
Yeah. So, who ended up going home this week?
Well, Cody, because he never got the rose on the individual date.
I know, and who was the second guy?
JJ. It was one of those things where when JJ, I guess, was talking to Annie, and they didn't really show much of the conversation, but they just looked awkward when they were sitting next to each other. It looked awkward.
Everything had changed. Well, everything had changed. She had basically rejected him. But when he got in the limo and just breathed that sigh, I was heartbroken for him. Next week looks pretty interesting.
Let's see, they're going to Brussels, right?
Yeah, you got some conflict, which is always kind of the teaser for next week, but I think because we're down to so few guys.
Well, let's see, we had 8 guys to start with, so now we are left with 6 of them.
6? Yeah, we're down to 6.
Competition is going to get heated.
Yeah. This was the funniest Bachelor outtake I think I've ever seen in all of the seasons that I've watched.
Well, because the funny thing is they all misunderstood the question.
So, in essence, it was during the lie detector test, the outtakes from the Italian guy saying in his English, in an Italian accent, he was trying to say, have you ever fought in public? And so because of his accent, he literally was saying to all of the guys individually, have you ever fought in a public? Oh my gosh, Izzy, seriously, I could not stop laughing.
Especially the guys that were talking at the end, and they were all laughing like, I thought he said that too.
I know. I mean, really, does it come down to a fart joke, Liz?
I think it does.
That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at didthelletteru.watch it. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.